means action. Generally, it means action. But according to the Buddha, that not every action, not all actions come under the Buddhist understanding of karma. Buddha explained karma in terms of what kind of action? No. Volitional action. Chetana. Chetanaham Bhikkhve Kammang Vadami. Buddha says it is Chetana. Your intention, your volition. So when you do an action intentionally, purposefully, then you generate that kind of karma. Here when we say you generate karma, it means you generate a certain kind of force, when that force has in it the naturally when there is this energy, when the energy is generated, then that energy will condition the result, will have its result. Just like this, when you, I remember the Newton's law of Newton's third law of motion. Can you remember? What does Newton's third law of motion state? Action and reaction. You play with a toy train, and one train stable, and then the other train moving. You push, right? And then when this push that train also move, isn't it? Action and reaction. Action and reaction. Cause and effect. That is the physical kind of karma. Physical kind of cause and effect. And in fact, everything in this world we can explain in terms of cause and effect. But the Buddha, specifically for the purpose of overcoming suffering, overcoming problems, human problems, the Buddha taught more on what you call the moral causation. In other words, the ethical aspect of the karma. And we can understand the law of karma in two ways. The whole teachings of karma can be classified under two categories. One is called the cosmic nature, the cosmic nature, and the other one is called moral causation. Karma can be understood in terms as a cosmic law, and in terms of cosmic law, it applies to even physical phenomena. Like what? Like this pen here, this marker. When I let go of this marker, it will naturally fall down, right? And there is the cause, the effect of falling. If I throw it up, it will fall down, like that. Cause and effect. This is a natural phenomena. It is governed by the natural law called the law of gravity, right? But those actions which pertains to the volition, mental, intentional action, volitionary activities of the mind, that kind of action is considered in terms of moral causation. Understand? And that is why sometimes people confuse that about the physical kind of cause and effect and moral causation. Because in terms of moral causation, the actions that we do Not every action constitutes karma. Only those actions that are generated in the active phase of the thinking phase. This morning I mentioned to you about our thoughts, how we think. When we think, from the time our thoughts are generated, are conditioned by what we see, by what we hear, by what we smell, by what we taste. And from these sense, what you call sense objects outside, and when it comes into contact with the sense organs such as the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, what happens is that from that point of contact, then it sets our mind. There is the vibration, and this mind, this thought, the thought process, there is constantly the vibration every time we have the mental energy. This morning we learned about that we are made up of what? Mental and physical energies. Physical energies with regards to the earth element, water, fire or heat element, and the wind element. And the mental energies are what? What? Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Right? Vedana is the feeling process. Feeling is not material. It is not made up of matter. It is a mental energy. Right? Then perception process. The process by which we are able to cognize, we are able to recognize things, we are able to recognize persons by their names, we are able to perceive things. Then sankhara is the volitionary activities or mental formations, wholesome, unwholesome thoughts, all these are sankharas. We can equate the sankhara to karma, good and bad karma. And then consciousness process, that the process through which we become aware of the presence of some object that confronts our sense organs, our senses, that we become aware that there is such an object. That is the kind of awareness. The awareness that arises through the eye when the eye comes into contact with a visual object. The awareness, the consciousness that arises through the ear, called the ear consciousness, when our ear comes into contact with sound. So in that same way we have nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. These are the different kinds of consciousness or awareness that arises. Right. Now, so actually our mental energy, this mental energy within this fathom-long body which we call the being or the self is constantly vibrating. No? And the pure nature of this mental energy is, the Buddha says, Pabbasarang Chittang Bhikkhave. Buddha defines this mental current, the stream of mental current, as Pabbasara. You know, Pabbasara means luminous. It means luminous, means bright, means radiant. That means our mental current, the stream of the conscious energy, the nature of it is luminous, it is bright. But why is it not bright? When you close your eyes, why is it you see dark? No brightness. Why? Because of the defiling tendencies, because of craving, hatred, anger, jealousy, envy, stinginess. All these defiling tendencies have clouded. You know, it's just like a stream. The stream of water coming down from the mountain. This stream is clear and the flow is unobstructed. When the flow is unobstructed, you can see there is the water without any ripples. But when you throw a piece of wood or you throw a small stone, what happens? If you throw a piece of wood and then the water hits the wood and then it creates a turbulence. And you will see ripples and you cannot see through the water. But if there are no obstructions, if there are no foreign particles in the water, in the stream, you can see very clear. You can see the bottom of the stream also, right? And it is very clear. But when you start throwing stones in it, then the mud, the sediments come up and it clouds the water. Now you cannot see what is in the water any longer. Your mind is also like that. The mind is, the nature of the mind is, it has, this stream of current is luminous. But it is defiled with the defiling tendencies, with greed, hatred, and resistance. And what happens is it is clouded, and that is why it is darkened. It is no longer bright. So when you sit down, when you develop your mind, when you culture your mind by confronting, by reducing greed, craving, desires, various forms of craving, and you start reducing anger and reduce your jealousy and envy. And when you sit down quietly, what happens is you begin, when your mind becomes clearer, you begin to see clearer. And sometimes the brightness will arise in the mind. Do you have this experience? Sometimes the mind is suddenly bright, brightness. And so some people do not know. Every religion speaks about the light within. Every religion, even in Christianity, in Islam, and in other Hindu religions, and the various yoga groups also, they all speak in terms of the light within us. What is this light within us? We can understand this from this, what the Buddha said with regards to this mind. The mind that is not disturbed, the mind that is free from greed, hatred, delusion, that stream, that flow is luminous, is bright. No? And so that's why when you meditate and slowly free your mind from the defilements, from that, then some brightness may arise. And with this brightness, then you can see things clearly. You can see things clearly. You can penetrate through the nature of whatever that you see. And so understand, and this mental process, this mind that we call together, the four components of the mind, Vedana, feelings, perception, mental formation, and consciousness process, they are constantly in vibration. They are vibrating constantly. And that the moment an object, a sense object, comes into contact with this vibrating energy, mental energy, then what happens is, this vibration is disturbed, arrested, no? And then comes, that is why in Buddhist psychology, we learn of the different states, the different one thought moment, one thought process, one thought that arises in your mind can be analyzed into 17 thought moments, But the first few thought moments, that pure vibrating energy, the pure vibrating mind, you call that the bhavanga phase. Bhavanga phase. That is why sometimes you dream certain things again and again, right? You see certain things in your dream, and then you remember that you have dreamt the thing before. This is impressed in your mind, in the memory, in your mind. Very impressed it vibrates, it comes up again and again. What you have done in the past comes up again and again. Now, the active phase of the process, I think it is from the 7th until the 15th. There are these 9 moments of 9 thought moments where there is the mind is in its active phase, and from that 7th moment or so, what happens is the mind is able to discriminate between wholesome and unwholesome, whether that action is wholesome or unwholesome action. And once the mind is able to discriminate it, and then that is the volitional process takes place. And now you think whether you want to do that action or not. Although you know you have the intention, the intention, the purpose is there. That phase, when you perform action, when an action is performed during the active phase of the thinking, the thought process, then that generates karma. And that means that action will produce a result. There are sometimes you do certain action without intention, right? And even that action that you do without intention may hurt others, but that action, having not generated this volition, has no reaction. In other words, the effect may not be there. There may be no effect in that. So not all our actions constitute karma. And above all, what is important to understand is that not all our sickness due to karma. Because in the Anguttara Nikaya, in the teachings, in one aspect, the Buddha had mentioned that our sicknesses have arisen from a number of causes. Do you know how the sicknesses arise? Sometimes due to the wind element. Remember? When we talk about the wind element, the gaseous elements form in the body. When you get certain infection, bacteria accumulate in certain parts of the body, and they also breathe in and breathe out, and they leave that gas, and that gas begins to accumulate in that part of the tissue, and then it obstructs the flow of the blood, and also obstruct the flow of the electrical impulses through the nerves. And so that's how sicknesses arise from that, through the wind, gaseous element. Then there are also sicknesses that arises through heat. When there is too much heat, when you meditate and when you exert effort, sometimes you experience a lot of heat coming out, and sometimes the drying effect. Through this you can understand the heat, and sometimes if you still go on, and the food that you eat, if you do not balance, you want good taste, take a lot of curry, very nice, good taste, and then next day you see red eyes, and there is a lot of heat element in the body, and heat element can give rise to headache, can give rise to various kinds of other aches. How do you reduce the heat element in the body? Drink water. We observe it in the past, they drink, when we tell them, okay, can give Milo, those people who are not used, they take a lot of Milo by themselves. That's why we don't give anymore. And somebody comes to prepare it. When they prepare themselves, they take very thick, and then next day, sore throat, and heat arises, too much heat element. So whenever you observe that there is a lot of heat element, then drink a lot of water to cool it, then to balance it out. And heat element gives rise to heat. Sometimes due to seasonal change, because of the heat element, transitional period, a lot of people get sicknesses. And that is due to heat, due to the seasonal change. Not due to karma, not due to past karma, but due to this physical phenomena, right? And there are also some due to bile, due to the bile, the body, and the phlegm. These are some of the physical causes, but there are also certain sicknesses that are due to karma. Certain sicknesses are due to karma, and these sicknesses the doctors cannot cure. Doctors also do not know. And even though you go to the faith healers also, they also cannot help you. The only way that they can help you is that when you have confidence in them, then the moment you have confidence, you have the faith in them, what arises is that the faith conditions your mental energy, and it conditions some good thoughts to arise in the mind. When these good thoughts arise in the mind, you have good karma. When you generate more good karma, then the good karma will give rise to good effect. Then you will be able to tolerate that unwholesome effect, the unwholesome consequences. You can tolerate that. So, to understand how our karma operates in our day-to-day life and how it conditions our life, we can see there are certain times of our life that we feel that we are very depressed, very moody, and whatever we do, people don't like. Have you got this experience? Whatever you do, you want to start a business, and somehow or other, and you don't get the right company, or even you go and get the right people, they play you out. And with all sincerity, you want to do a good action, but not appreciated. Instead, they blame you. You have that kind of experience in your life? How long does it last? How long does it last? 100 over years. Haven't over yet. Not over yet. That period. And you observe carefully. There are certain periods of our life, some good period. During the good period, whatever you do, people like you. And whatever you do, you succeed. Whatever you touch becomes gold. Good karma ripen. Good karma ripen. And when the bad karma ripen, you see one after another. Usually, that's what the saying says, misfortune falls. One after the other. And so, during that period, some people do not know why. And then they go to the temple, medium. They take what? Chamsi. And then what do they get? They get the oven, and there is a poetry poem there. Sometimes it says, sui, it says bad luck, bad luck for a certain period, for so many months. And what is the solution there? What is the prescription? they give them tiam yu. How much? 2 bottles. What is the significance of these things? Even those people want to tiam yu, they go and buy the cheap oil. I do not know. Sometimes they mix also, and then they give. The idea is this: to overcome if there is this bad period. This bad period because of our unwholesome karma. Certain things, certain bad things that we have done in the past. Although we are not aware of it, we may not remember it, but that action still remember us. Now, that is why what you do, you look the small with the children, how you treat them when they are young, and if you laugh them, lie them, cheat them, remember that when they grow up. Don't think that you may have forgotten them. You may have forgotten what you have done. But your little children, your little relatives, nephews and niece look at you and say, we remember last time, you tell us this one and you did not, you didn't do, and you beat me like that. So they have this kind. And remember how you scold me like that. So cause and effect. You see, you may have forgotten, but that karma comes results. So sometimes the result may come immediately in this lifetime itself. Sometimes the result comes in your next life. Sometimes the results may come in successive lifetime. No? But sometimes when the conditions are not there, if the conditions are not there, then the results cannot come. If the conditions are not there, not present, then it may become ahosi, that karma. If it is a weak karma, it's just like this. You get the seeds of some plants, the mango seed, and the bean, the green peas from which you get taugeh. You plant. Now, if you plant these two seeds, and you put it in the soil, and you don't water it for a few days, 1 week, what happens? Both die off? Have you tried planting mango seed? Even without water for 1 week, that seed still remain dormant, still is alive. But that small seed, the green pea, will die. And then after 1 week you put water, the green one cannot come up. But the mango, when it shoots up very fast. I have this experience because when I was young, I grow the mango from the seed, and I watch every day, I water every day, and I see how come never grow. And then I left it alone. And after 1 month, suddenly I see it shoots up like this. And that is the nature of that. Because in these seeds there are different storage, food storage. In the small seed, the energy is very little. In the big seed, the energy stored is very strong. So in the same manner, our karma, if we have done a karma which is not strong, the energy is very little. The potential of it to give rise to a result is also very weak. On the other hand, if we perform an action which is very strong energy, then even though the conditions, certain conditions may not be there, if the conditions are not there, it does not come up. But as soon as the conditions come, then the karma ripens. Understand? See how certain karma ripens in that way. So when you practice, the purpose when you practice mindfulness and awareness and develop your concentration, then what happens is your thoughts, before you speak, before you act, you think. And when your mind is concentrated, that thought is strong or weak. That the thought is a strong thought. And that strong thought is itself what you call a strong karma. A strong karma. And that strong karma will give rise to an action, will give rise to a result. So that is why how prayers, how we relate it to our day-to-day life, how some people make certain aspiration, make certain wish, and their wish are fulfilled, and some are not fulfilled. Why? And we say that first you do meritorious actions. When you do meritorious actions, what is the purpose of doing meritorious action? What is the purpose of getting married? Yes. What is the function of marriage? To? No? 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 No. What is the function of marriage when you do good action? What immediately does it do to your mind? Rejoice? Yes, it gives rise to happiness. That's right. Remember, I say marriage has this main function in cleansing the mind. It helps to cleanse the mind. Cleanse the mind from what? From clinging, from attachment, from hatred, from delusion. It helps to cleanse the mind from jealousy, envy, stinginess, all that. This is why. And when your mind is cleansed, then you experience the peace of mind. That peace of mind is what you call the happiness, right? And when with the happy mind, then you make your wish, you make your adhisthana, determination. That wish is strong. That wish is strong. That means that karma is strong, right? And that is how it will ripen. And when you ripen, you see the good effect, you see the good result. And some people do not know to do it themselves. They use a third party. So they go to another person and they go and tell, Buddha, please help me. And I have these sicknesses, this problem. And please help me. And then they keep on thinking, they keep on thinking in that mind. Please help me to pass my examination. I want to pass my examination. I have to do, flying colors in order to get into the university. You think like this again and again. Then your thought it is a strong thought which is repeated again and again, impressed in your mind. So when you go back home and there is a good program, television program, and you look at that, and then the thought that you have, generated, come up again. Pass examination with flying colors, and then you look at the TV. Then the mind comes. How the mind works? Says, have to study now. And then Mara comes, says, never mind, But now see who is stronger. See which one is stronger. The Mara says, never mind. And then you say, no, I must study to pass my examination well. Then the Mara cannot attack you. Actually, your own defilements cannot attack you in this way. So he takes another way, and he says, never mind, just 1 hour only. Little while only. After that, you will study. After that, you can do 1 hour only. Then see how it tests you. And if your mind is weak, then you fall for this. You are tempted. Okay, 1 hour. Then after 1 hour, because you have fed your craving, you have fed the Mara. So now Mara is very strong already, because you have given food to that Mara, and so he's very strong. So the next hour, he tells you, come on, man, tomorrow can do. Get up early morning and do your homework. Can revise tomorrow morning. Still got time, 3 months more. So long time some more. This is how Mara, your own defilements, in other words, your laziness, tendency, these weaknesses come and attack you. And if the mind is not strong, if you have made strong determination, that state of mind rules, govern you, direct your course of action. That is how you can succeed. That is how you pray, and you will see the good results. After that, there is a parable. Some people say when they pray, the God help them. And there is one parable, how this one man was, he was a merchant, and while he was traveling on the very muddy ground, his whole cartload of goods was stuck in the mud. And then what happened? He knelt down and then beside the cart and start praying. He says, "Oh God, please help me, help my cart. I have to reach the city in time before it gets dark. Please help me. Please help the cart to move." Then, he sat down long time to pray. Did the cart move? No. And it is said that an angel, a Deva, came and told him, "Know ye, God help those who help themselves." Then he had this thought, and he says, then in that case, he pushed. And so he pushed and pushed, because now, after sitting down, his mind was concentrated, he has all the energy, and now he pushed, and the cart, came out. It says, "Thank God, you have answered my prayer." And see, so what really, most of our, in fact, it is our action that is important. It is very true that God helps those who help themselves. In our case, we say, help yourself. But if you cannot help yourself, never mind, use the Buddha. Buddha will help you. Always you think of the Buddha, help. Think of the Buddha in the mind, anything, and then strengthen your mind. Because when you think of the Buddha, you only think of because the Buddha is one who is an awakened one, who has understanding, and whose state of mind is blissful. So every time when you think of the Buddha, and you will get the blissful state of mind, and you will be awakened, then you will become that. And whatever problems you can confront. And in the morning you recite those gathas. Those gathas? Jaya Mangla Gatha. What are those? Bahum Sahasa Mabini. You recite those things like sing-song way. And actually they are very inspirational songs. Very inspirational, because in each of these verses you will find those how the Buddha overcome certain threat, certain accusation, certain what you call attack, and people. Although the Buddha was an enlightened teacher, still he was not free from blame. He was not free from accusation. He was not free from threats. And people came to accuse him, to blame him for various things. And in this Gatha you will find how he overcome them. With what? With his virtues. With his virtues. Just with his virtues he overcome them. Nalagiri. Remember Nalagiri? What is that? That elephant. Who sent this Nalagiri? Devadatta. Remember? Devadatta. Right? Devadatta planned to kill the Buddha. And he plotted with the king, the young king, Ajatasattu. Got the elephant from the king's stable. Got it intoxicated. And asked the elephant to charge. Go charging before the Buddha. Then what happened? Ananda was beside the Buddha. Ananda was the faithful disciple of the Buddha. Ananda took a stick and tried to protect the Buddha. But what did the Buddha say? Ananda, sit. And then the Buddha just radiated metta, loving kindness towards that elephant. The elephant, the fierce, intoxicated elephant that came charging before the Buddha, immediately upon receiving this metta, elephant began to kowtow, began to bow down, was tamed, was subdued by what? By just the force of metta, loving kindness. This is how the Buddha overcome, And not only that, because when the Buddha was very well known, and he was so well known, and when he preached, the other religious, the disciples, the followers of other religious teachers began to see the facts of life. They were enlightened, and so they began to follow the Buddha. But what happened to their religious teachers? Their religious teachers got very angry because they have lost their devotees, lost their disciples. So that is why how some of the other religious teachers plotted various kinds of plots to smear the good name of the Buddha. They even went to the extent of getting a woman and to ask her, they have planned to walk near the monastery where the Buddha lived every night and come back. And then after a certain number of months, they asked her to put what you call some pillow. Some put pillows and then tie around the waist, and then she goes there, and then wait until a time when there are a lot of people, and then she starts accusing the Buddha. You have disturbed me, and now you see you are not looking after me, and see, this is, they went to that extent. What did the Buddha do? Buddha was innocent. So what did the Buddha do? Just by the power of his virtue, by the power of his truth, he just gave. And because of his virtues, what happened? How did the pillow drop? That's right. Sakka Devaraja, that is the chief of the realms, our things of heaven, realized this and became a rat, small mice came up, crawled up, and start biting all the strings, and then fell down. And so that woman, what was the woman's name? Chincha. See how the Buddha overcome. Still up to today. So don't take, Upasika, don't take this name, Chincha. Because if next time, if anybody give you this name, don't take this name. Still you can see, when you go to India, when you visit the holy places in Savasti, you can still see a pond there. There's some water there, because that's the place called where Chincha was swallowed by the earth. And there is still a hole there. And it is still, up to now, it is called Chincha's pond, Chincha's lake, you see. And this is because of that karma. So depending, really. So when we learn the teachings of the Buddha, we go for refuge to the Buddha in times of trouble. Because this trouble time, these problems that have arisen in our life, it is because of our ignorance. Because of our ignorance, we have done something unwholesome in the past. And we must know how to confront it. Now, if we react with the situation, if we keep on reacting, we will generate more and more karma. In fact, if we see our whole life is governed by this law of cause and effect, whole life, not only part of our life, but whole life is governed by this law of cause and effect. Now you take an instance, if there is a small boy there, and he plays with some stone while you are listening here, and he throws a stone and the window breaks. When the window breaks, what happened? Depending. Now, if you are the owner, if you are the secretary or president of this place, you are responsible, you are in charge of this place. Depending, what will happen to your mind? You get angry, right? So now, that action, that is one action. And then, what is the effect? No, the effect is the glass breaks. Now, that result, that effect, becomes a cause to another effect. Can you see this? It is a cycle. That broken glass becomes a cause to the president's anger. The person in charge gets angry. Now, you see how anger conditions, give rise, conditions, and then the result. The boy gets that. So he has one cycle already, no? Right? One cycle, cause and effect. But you think it stops there? It doesn't stop there. He goes back home. Then he bring the mother and father. And if the father is a lawyer, still he come to the building and then start. He come to the building and then start. And show you. And then depend again on your mind. If you are that, very strong, stubborn type, you say, he was the one who was at fault. If you want to sue, you sue. I will. I also employ Queen's Counsel or whatever it is. So you will go on from. Now, when you take this kind of action because of not realizing the cause and effect, then what happens is you go up. You think you will stop there? You win the case. He loses the case. But He has to pay so much. Even after appealing, he may lose. You may win. Stand. Because you have all the, you are right. But you have taken all this course of action to prove that, you are right. But you have reacted, and he has given a lot of unpleasant things. He has to pay all the money, and his family all have suffered from that action. You think they will let you go alone, scotch-free, although you may be declared innocent, but the law say you are right. But they have the grudge in your mind. They say, watch out. And with that state of mind, from birth to birth, if they happen to die with that state of mind, and they happen to think of you, then they are reborn nearby you. Yes. And then again another stone come to your glass house. Again it goes round in a cycle. As long as you are ignorant, as long as you do not know, as long as you are not aware of this process of cycle of cause and effect. But if you know, now you know the cause and effect, right? And you also have understanding of the nature of things, the impermanent nature of things. So when a small boy comes and then he throws a stone, breaks, and upon investigation you realize that, he has done these things out of his playfulness, and then you think, well, glasses are, anything that is breakable will break one day. And you think, if I pursue this, there will be more effect, more action, reaction. So you stop there. But you use your wisdom to counsel him. Next time, don't do again. Like that. And then, when you do this, you stop there, and no cause, no effect some more, no need to go to court. Like that. So, this is what, in our day-to-day life, we always, because of our ignorance, we always react to the situation. When people scold you, you keep this in the mind, and again you scold back like that. You take revenge, and this cause and effect. So that is why it is important to understand the law of cause and effect, because whatever unwholesome actions that we have done, we have to reap the unwholesome consequences. That's why we can explain the law of karma, the law of moral causation can be simplified, can be simply explained in terms of good begets good and evil begets evil. Right or not? Good begets good, evil begets evil. Do you agree with this? Do you wholly agree with this? Then how is it that some people who are very good, very kind, very honest, come to temple every day, every full moon, new moon day, give a lot of dana, donate to the building fund, come become novice also every year, then still get all kinds of trouble, and business also cannot do well, and then misfortune come, sicknesses come, then how is it? Do you know some people, they come and clean the temple, do all the good things, and then after that they walk and then they fall down in the drain. Then after that, what happens when they go back? Their parents says, there you are, I told you don't go temple, no? See, you go to temple, see what do you get? You do good, also no use. See, you fall down. Right? You laugh at these things, but this is how most people think. Most people think like that. They generalize that action. Yes. Anything? Huh? Oh, newborn one. Okay, come, can join this. Yes. Come, stop. Now, Dayananda, from where and why you come to join this program?
Good evening, all guests here. My name is Tang Hang Li, but I've been given a name Dayananda, which I'm told is kindness and happiness. I live around here only in Bangsa Lucky Garden there, and I've always wanted to join this program because I'd like to learn more about my religion. In fact, I applied last year also, but I applied too late, so I was rejected. This year, actually I could have made it in time, but then due to the floods, the examination was postponed 1 week later. But then the Reverend has been very kind to me and have let me join late, even though I'm 1 week late.
You know what kind of karma? Because he has got strong determination. He has made a strong determination. Even we close, we have to open for him. See? So if you have strong determination, nothing is impossible. I think one of the upasikas also, Chief Reverend tell her no, and she come again. Another week she come again. Chief Reverend, can or not? Chief Reverend says no. And then the next week she come again. She sees Chief Reverend says, Chief Reverend, can or not, Chief Reverend, and then she explains, no. And come again. Is that can or not? And Chief Reverend not okay lah. Because that is the way, and then that is how she's here now because of that. Also strong determination, the strong mind. See, if you have weak mind, cannot, then no, never mind, no, you give up so easily. The good thing is you persevere, strengthen your mind, and make determinations. That is how you will succeed in whatever you do. And because of the strong karma, and there is also some supporting karma of the past to come and support you. See? So there was some obstacle, unwholesome karma, and have obstacle, but also because of some good actions that supports these things, and then that obstacle, when that obstacle goes away, then you see the good result. See, when the flood goes, you still come here. So our life is also like this. So when we in our life we experience certain bad times, certain good times, during this bad time we must be very patient. And if we have the understanding of the law of karma, how karma ripens, then we will not make important decisions during this time. We will not make important decisions. And also, we should not. Another newcomer. You have one new note. Okay. Let's go. Never mind. So, no new this thing, but has another kind of karma. You know what is the other karma? Some people having the slide want to see some more slide. Because they have sin, cause, and then another effect. So another round going around. This is the way how things go. When you do one good action leads, lights up to another one lights up another. That's how you can influence with your good action too. So you see in your life, when you calm down your mind, you will be able to see how this karma operates. You can watch how this karma operates. And how at certain times very unpleasant don't take hasty decision immediately. And then the best thing to do during this time is to be patient, endure, and do more good action. No? So you can Kuei Un. And by coming to, that's why some people, they come for novitiate program, because, but do more good action, lead more religious life. If you cannot come for novitiate program only once a year, you can try to play on a low profile, and meanwhile do more good action. Because the thing is that the bad karma in the past, it will also, when it ripens, then it will, once it ripens, then finish, go off. And so if you do not generate more unwholesome karma, instead you do more good karma, then the good karma will ripen. When the good karma ripens, then you will see the good effect. And if a lot of good karma ripen, you will see a lot of good effect coming one after the other. Everything will pave the way for you, for your success. So this is how we can see. And do you know how to watch the karma, the karmic tendencies? Some people, you can see your own karma by when you sit, when you, the trend of your thoughts, certain thoughts coming. Sometimes good thoughts come to your mind. When the good karma ripen, many good thoughts come to your mind, and then you become very happy. When you're happy, your mind is strong. You can't. But there are certain times not so good. A lot of bad thoughts come to the mind. Every time frightened, and then make your mind weak. Don't give up. If you give up, then you cannot build up. But if you don't give up and you just observe, keep on observing these things, it will go. And then you can, with a strong mind, whatever determination you make, that you will be able to overcome this situation, overcome this problem. That strong thought is strong karma. Because we generate karma through 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? What are the 3 ways that we can generate karma? Through our thought, through our speech, and through bodily actions. And you can generate wholesome and unwholesome karma. And we have learned the other night all the unwholesome karma. Do you know what the unwholesome karma through your thought, speech, and action? Yes. Let's see what you can remember. What are the this one. Wrong action. What are the bad action to body activity? Killing. One more. Very good. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. What are the 4 kinds of wrong speech or bad karma to the speech? Lying, harsh speech, frivolous talk, slander. Very good. See? If you make an effort, there is right effort. You can remember all these things. Now, so what are the wrong thoughts? Bad thoughts. Covetousness. Ill will. Wrong views. Because wrong views generate a lot of unwholesome thoughts in the mind. So these are the 10 akusala karma, wrong actions will give rise to bad effect. So to try to avoid from this. So during those bad periods, better to observe sila, and watch the tongue. Don't talk too much. If you used to talk, don't talk too much. And watch your bodily action too. When you observe this thing, then you will be able to see the mind clearer and be able to see the state of your mind and can control your mind better. And okay, then the other aspects of karma. I think what you have done this afternoon was the classification according to its function. Can you remember, according to the function, that certain action, certain karma has the function of regenerative karma. Regenerative karma called, what is that? It conditions your next life, rebirth, right? Then that is called janaka karma. Then what else? There is some karma performs the function of supportive karma, upattambaka karma, right? There are certain karma which has the counteractive effect. It can be counteractive, good or bad. Now take for example, sometimes you enjoy your life, you enjoy wealth, you enjoy good health, and then suddenly certain things that you have done, some action that you have done in the past are not so good, ripens, and you what you call experience misfortune, and you cannot enjoy as much as you have enjoyed before. This is the counteractive karma. But the counteractive karma can also be for the good. Now, when you are suffering, and then the good thing that you have done can ripen and change overnight. Sometimes can change, and you see the good result. You get windfall, isn't it? Windfall. You do not know what windfall? Hampa echo. You know? Then overnight, your problems are solved. Sometimes these things happen due to certain counteractive karma. Actually, we learn this Dhamma, how to, you have learned how to do dana, how to practice sila and all that. Now many people, when they do dana, if their minds are not pure, then the result also not so pure, right? Because you want to give, and then after that you are not happy. When the result comes, you receive, you have wealth, but you are not happy. Because you have given in the past. Because of what you have given in the past, you receive. Understand? You are born, you have wealth. But in the past, you have given, but you are not happy about your giving. You always regret about your giving. That means that merit, you have spoiled that. And so, as a result, you gave, you receive. But at the same time, there is no happiness. You cannot enjoy what you receive over the wealth. You see? So that is why you have come and you study how to perfect the giving and you study the karma. Then you will be able. And then you will know how to give so that in the future you can reap the good results more efficiently. Your actions become more efficient. So karma, we can see the supporting, the counteractive and the destructive karma. Destructive karma. This is why sometimes the untimely death, destructive karma. Or sometimes, when we do some good action and then suddenly, that the force of certain karma can destroy the good effect. There's a destructive karma. So then also there are, according to the degree, some karma is very strong karma. Do you know what are the strong karma, heavy karma? That definitely will ripen. What are they? Killing what? Yes, those who try. You cannot kill the Buddha much as you try, because of this problem. But the fact that you try to kill, or Arahant can be killed, you kill Arahant, or killing of mother and father, matricide. Then the other one you cannot do. Only those higher ordained monks can do. They cause schism, separation in the Sangha. Now these actions are very strong. They are weighty actions. They are called Garuka karma. They are very strong actions, and they will definitely give rise to result. Did you remember the story? You know the story of Moggallana? You know story of Moggallana? When you go to the shrine room, you know which one is Moggallana? Because Moggallana was a bit dark skin. On the other one is Sariputta. The Buddha there in the shrine room. Buddha with his two chief disciples, Sariputta and Moggallana. Sariputta is fairer, Moggallana is darker. That's why they painted a bit darker. They did not have the black one, they paint blue. So he is the blue boy. And then, you know his story. How? And Moggallana was, he was well known for his psychic powers, psychic abilities. And but when in his last days, and what happened was, while he was meditating in a garden, and he was seated under the tree, and then after some time he saw a group of men, a group of thugs, bandits, coming with what you call various kinds of weapons, stick and all that, coming to attack him. What did he do? He just breathed in, breathed out, and disappear. Make himself disappear. He gets into his concentration, and then he just disappear like that. And then after that, again, after some time, again he reappeared, and again he continued sitting. For the second time, he saw a group coming to charge before him. What did he do? Again, he, disappeared. He made himself disappear through his psychic power. Then, after some time, again he came to sit. For the third time, he see groups of people now coming, fiercer than ever, to attack him. What did he do? From afar he saw them. Then he thought, there must be something I have done in the past. He sat down, and then he got into his concentrated state of mind, and he turned his mind to see what he has done in the past. And then he realized one of his previous lives. He was born into a certain family, not so rich family, and he was getting old, and he did not want to get married. But the parents sort of pestered him that you must marry, and he said, no, I don't want to marry. Somehow, after pastoring, he says, okay, if you want, you go and find. Then the parents found one wife for him, so he got married. Then later on, what happened? When he grew, the parents became old and became blind. Both mother and father were blind. And that wife had to look after his in-law, mother-in-law and father-in-law. And then the wife says, what, so difficult, all the problems every day. We have to feed them, we have to clean them, we have to do so many things. And they are still very strong. What can we do? If they are going to live for a long time, it is terrible burden now. So the wife told the husband like this. And every day the wife nagged husband, The husband also think, okay lah, in that case, let us think what best we can do. So husband and wife start to plot. They plot. And then they say, okay, they came up with an idea. So they go and tell their parents, for tomorrow we are going to shift house, shift to another place, come. Then they take their parents and go to the forest, go to walk in the forest. And then in the midst of the forest, the middle of the forest, they shouted, oh, robbers, 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 What did the parents do? The parents says, the parents, when the parents heard this thing, the parents, because they are old, blind, they cannot run. So the parents says, never mind, son, never mind, daughter, you go run, save your life, run, leave me alone. But was there any robber? There were no robbers. They bluffed because they took the stick and they clobbered. They hit, they beat both this mother and father till they died. Such was the kind of action that he has done in the past. So when Moggallana saw this action, and immediately he realized he cannot run away from that, karma. So he said, and what happened? Yes, those people came and beat him, and with the stick and chop, and we are told how, the body become like, what you call into pieces and put in the sack. That was his end. But did he suffer? Why did he not suffer? Because by now he has already developed his mind. He has already become an arahant, and as such he has given up craving, attachment to the body. He no longer attached to the body. So when he got into this state, concentrated state of mind, detached, so his mind was detached. That is the difference between an enlightened being and a non-enlightened being. One who is enlightened, one who is truly enlightened, if their body is sick, their mind is totally free from sickness. Understand? Because they don't cling anymore. Although they may experience this physical pain, physical stress, you see, but they have no mental suffering. They have no mental suffering. And that was how. So even as an arahant, there are certain karma in the past. If it is very strong action, they cannot escape from that kind of karma. But there are many other karma that you can escape. You know how to escape? How? You know how to escape? What you have done? You see, we have done a lot of the good and the bad actions. But Now, if we understand the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, whatever unwholesome actions, that whatever misfortune, whatever bad we experience, we be patient, we endure it, and not react, right? So we avoid the bad, avoid doing bad action, do more good action. So what happened is, there are more good actions, but still the bad action is there. But if there are 10 good action and 1 bad action, then how many, when the result comes, you will see more good results coming. So the bad result cannot ripen so quickly, right? Even if it ripens, you can tolerate it because the next one comes good. That's why sometimes you find some people, due to some bad action, sometimes they may get certain sicknesses, incurable sickness. But what happened? And they are able to live for some time, and then come the new breakthrough in the research, and miracle drug or comes up, and he gets cured from that sickness, from that disease, because of the karma. So sometimes when you get a misfortune and then suddenly somebody come and help you, give a helping hand, you say, Quy come, people come and help you. Because this is not because of luck. You say good luck. No, because of your goodness that you have done. The good action ripen, good and bad. Now, so that is how we understand. And now we can classify all these various actions into good and bad, or we call it black and white. Have you got, you know this one? Black and white action gives rise to what kind of result? Black and white result. Are you sure? White action gives rise to white results. Black action gives rise to black and white gives rise to there you are. See. Who says grey? You are an artist, but not Buddhist. You understand artwork, but not in Buddhism, black and white action gives rise to black and white result, in the sense that good and bad action gives rise to good and bad results. Some people, they do some action, but sometimes they have good intention. Good intention. Sometimes, in the family, when you are sick, then your mother only know what to do to make you strong, to give you chicken soup. For that, she has to wallop the chicken and kill and and make it into real soft. All the bones have to smash and squeeze to get the soup. Then you say, isn't that a bad action? But she has good intention. Her intention is to cure certain sickness, to make you strong, so that you can study well. But she has to reap the effect also. When the result comes, she has to see bad, but have also good result. Understand? Because the son who is strong can help her. Later on, when her leg cannot walk properly, because so. Now the Buddha has taught there are certain class of action that like killing. Killing generally, when you kill, you destroy life. You shorten the life of others. What is the result? Generally it produces short life, untimely death as a result of killing. Sometimes sicknesses, a lot of sicknesses, because you have been hurting, harming other beings. No? So please, you must look after and don't be cruel. Some people, when they see the cat, they like to throw the cat in the water because they know the cat don't like water, so throw in the water. And if the cat gets suffocated, then watch out. Although the cat don't know how to swear, do not know how to curse, but due to that karma, you get certain kind of sickness. We have some experience sometimes while sitting down quietly, and suddenly, for no rhyme or reason, everything is okay, but suddenly the head, certain part of it, very painful like that. No? And Prajanyandra have this kind of experience, and suddenly, when he said, suddenly he experienced, painful sensations. Then he cannot understand because the body. Then he looked back and he saw, and he realized what happened. In the past, he had bitten somebody's head in the past, and because he said he was meditating with some yogi in the past, and that monk has already realized, but he did not know. So he thought he has not realized, and he give him hard hit, and he realized now, and he has experience. He went through it for some time. He went through it, observed the pain, and then it goes away. Naturally, it goes away. If it is due to certain karma, it just go away like that. That's why you can, if you observe the thing carefully, and that's why if your mind is strong, can observe. Go. So we can, by strengthening our mind, by avoiding evil, doing good, what happens is we can postpone some of the effects of certain weak karma. And when you have more and more good karma, then you have opportunity to practice Dhamma, and you more opportunity to purify your mind. Until such time when your mind is purified, then you stop. You stop what? Stop doing evil anymore. Then your mind is purified. You begin to see the reality of your mind and body. Then you see that this body is constantly subject to change. Then you give up the clinging, the attachment to the body. Your mind is free. Then even if some bad karma ripen, your mind is steady. There is no suffering. Even if some people, due to what you have done in the past, you have been falsely accusing others, blaming others, and then you may get the blame, you may get the accusation. But now you have developed your mind is strong, you are not disturbed by this blame. That is how you can, wise with wisdom, you can overcome the effect of so many kind of unwholesome karma. Okay? Now you have some question with regards to karma. Yes. 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 Yes.
Is this a result, pure result of karma?
Yes.
Or people reject that?
Yes. Good. And this is the result of a combination of, you see, may not be due totally to karma, but there is also such thing as collective karma. They understand there is such thing as collective karma. And during the time of the Buddha, there had been sometimes, and how you will find in this story in the Dhammapada, and I can't remember the exact story, of a group of 7 monks, and they had, cannot remember now this story, how they met certain tragedy, misfortune. all together, and they died. And then the other monks was wondering why is it that all of them have to face this kind of tragic death. Then the Buddha pointed out that in the past these 7 had got together and had trapped others and kill others, something like that. You see the story, and as a result they have to face the consequences, and they face it together. You see, now you see, in times of war, what happened is that the whole country, but not everybody, some people, due to their ignorance, what happened is there is the aiding and abetting. You may not go out to fight directly, but you produce the armaments, you produce the poisons, you produce those gases to help, to support, right? So there is, when that karma ripens, also you begin to see the whole group. But what happened is this: not everyone, when some tragedy happens, not everyone suffer in the same manner. Understand? Some, their suffering is, they die, but their suffering is less. Some have to go through longer period of suffering, you see, depending on how much they had contributed towards that, and that collective kind of karma, you see. So that is why sometimes the whole village can be wiped out due to what this group of people have been doing. And then when they are reborn, sometimes when they are reborn, they come back. And now you see, those people who, if they are slaughtered in one village, they are slaughtered, they all die, and they all want to take revenge. They die with that very bad state of mind. So they linger around. Where are they reborn? They are reborn in the same place, in the same area. You see, and again they grow up. When they grow up, and then when that karma ripen, because the revengeful thought, when that karma ripen, then they go out to seek revenge. And that is why you see in this world there is the cycle of, every generation, you see. No wars have helped to solve any war. No wars have helped to solve wars. But those who know this, those who realize this Dhamma, then they will go out. So always there are some people who can be free. Even you find some tragic incident of accidents, air crash, but sometimes there can be survivors here and there. A classic example. Due to, if the karma is not, if you are not in that collective, if not contributive to that collective karma, somehow, of that instant, that man who from Penang, who was supposed to fly, and some years ago when they had a tragic accident, crash, and this man from Penang, he was supposed to be on the flight, and he went to the toilet, and the door cannot open. The door just, he could not open this door, and because of that, somebody else took his place and went up, and the plane crashed. He was saved. And then you can say, not time yet, So it is true. If it is not time yet, very difficult to die also. So don't try to think, let the natural karma. Yes. So there is such thing as collective karma, but also there is such thing as now there is such thing as the natural disaster due to certain conditions, due to certain what you call heat condition, and the changes of the climatic patterns, and sometimes due to the greed of people, the deforestation, when they cut off trees and that, then naturally when it rains there will be natural disaster, flood, landslide, all these things happen. And that also is due to certain karma of the people, due to their greed, isn't it? A contributive factor. And so there is the karma, there is also how the natural, the cosmic phenomena, what you call this, the physical phenomena, inorganic order, the combination of them give rise to this kind of action, tragic action.